soft fire crackling, wind curling outside wooden walls. The faint howl of a distant storm weaving through the pines, whispering secrets only the forest knows. The low moan of a fjord's tide kissing the rocky shore. The rustle of frost-kissed leaves tumbling across the earth. The distant cry of a loon echoing over a frozen lake. Hello again, weary traveler. You've wandered far through the clamor of modern days, through the restless hum of cities and screens, to find this quiet corner of the world, a sanctuary where sleep walks gently through frost-laced forests, where time drifts like snow falling on a still night, each flake catching the moonlight before it settles, painting the world in silver. You are safe now, nestled within the longhouse of the sleepless Viking, not a hall of swords or raids, but a haven of legends whispered in the dark, stories told beneath the weight of fur blankets, warmed by the glow of flickering torchlight. The air is thick with the scent of pine smoke, aged wood, woolen weaves, the faint sweetness of dried herbs, and the earthy tang of moss, wrapping you in comfort as the world outside grows silent, hushed by the blanket of winter. It's quiet as deep as a secret. Tonight we chase a secret carried on the north wind, a whisper from ages past, that the people of Viking times, long before the hum of clocks, the glare of screens, or the restlessness of our modern sleeplessness, may have known the deepest, most restorative sleep in all of history. They lived not by alarms or deadlines, but by the rhythm of stars, the calls of owls, the songs of wolves, the crackle of ice forming on a frozen stream, the soft creak of glaciers shifting under the weight of time, and the long, quiet nights of winter that stretched like a vast velvet sea. They understood when to rest, how to rest, and why rest was sacred, a gift from the earth itself, as vital as breath, as precious as the first light of dawn breaking over a snow-dusted ridge. Their sleep was not a task to be checked off, but a ritual, a communion with the land, a surrender to the cycles that shaped their world. So breathe in deeply now. Let the air fill your chest. Cool and clean like a northern breeze moving over a frozen fjord, carrying the faint tang of salt, the crispness of snow, and the green scent of pine needles crushed underfoot. Let your shoulders soften, your jaw loosen, your hands rest gently at your sides, fingers uncurling like petals in the warmth, your body releasing the weight of the day. Imagine the scent of pine smoke curling around you, the faint creak of wooden beams settling in the cold, the weight of a woolen blanket draped over your shoulders, its fibers woven with care by hands long gone, carrying the warmth of their labor. You're stepping into the past, not to memorize facts or dates, but to feel the ancient rhythms of the earth, rhythms we've forgotten but can still reclaim, like a song half remembered in the quiet of the night. Settle in now. Find a comfortable place, whether lying down on a soft bed, sinking into a pile of cushions, or resting gently in a chair, your body supported, your mind free to wander, your heart open to the story. Close your eyes if it feels right, or let them grow heavy, unfocused as the firelight dances in your mind, casting golden flickers across your thoughts, like sunlight rippling on a forest stream. Picture the longhouse around you, its walls sturdy against the winter wind, its hearth glowing like a heartbeat, steady and warm, its light a beacon in the dark. Listen closely. The story is beginning, and it will carry you like a longship gliding on calm waters, its oars dipping softly into the sea, its sails catching the breath of the wind. Let us travel far north, beyond the rolling hills of Saxon lands, past the misty shores of Alba, beyond the rugged cliffs of Ere, to a world carved by fjords where glaciers gleam under moonlight, pine forests stretch older than any king's reign, and the aurora borealis weaves green and violet threads across the sky, a tapestry of light that seems to hum with secrets. This is Scandinavia in the early centuries after the fall of Rome, before the Viking Age roared into its fullest might, a time when the Norse people lived in harmony with the land, their days and nights woven into its seasons, their sleep a mirror of its cycles. The air is crisp, carrying the tang of salt from distant seas, the earthiness of moss, the sharp bite of frost, the faint sweetness of berries preserved for winter, and the rich, loamy scent of the forest floor, damp with snowmelt. Villages nestle in valleys, their longhouses huddled together like families, smoke rising from their roofs like prayers to the sky, curling toward the stars, each wisp a story rising to the heavens. Together, we'll uncover how the Norse slipped so effortlessly into slumber, how their nights were a dance with the stars, a dialogue with the seasons, and perhaps how we might find that same peace tonight, letting it cradle us like a mother's arms, like the gentle sway of a longship on a calm sea. In these high latitudes, the seasons hold absolute sway, their power as undeniable as the gods themselves, their rhythms as steady as the tides. In summer, the sun clings to the sky, barely dipping below the horizon, bathing the world in endless twilight, a golden haze that stretches across meadows and fjords, painting the world in hues of amber, rose, and soft lavender, where shadows linger like whispers. In winter, darkness reigns supreme, wrapping the land in a deep, velvet quiet that feels alive, as if the night itself is breathing, whispering secrets through the pines, its silence broken only by the soft crack of branches under snow or the distant howl of a wolf. To us, such extremes might feel disorienting, a challenge to our rigid schedules and glowing screens, but to the Norse, they were a gift, a rhythm to follow, a cue to slow down, to listen to the earth's heartbeat. When the days grew short, the world softened its pulse, and so did its people, their lives attuned to the ebb and flow of light and dark, their bodies yielding to the call of rest. Picture a winter's day in this northern world. The sun rises lazily at 10 in the morning, its light pale and golden, casting long shadows across snow-dusted hills, its rays catching the frost and turning it to diamonds before sinking again by 3 in the afternoon, leaving a world bathed in shades of blue, silver, and deep indigo, the sky a canvas of stars. The darkness that follows isn't heavy or foreboding. It's sacred, soft, an invitation to rest, like a mother calling her children home from the cold. The Norse called the evening kveld, a word that carried not just the time of day, but its mood, a hush that settled over the world as the light faded, like a hand soothing a restless heart, a blanket drawn over the land. Kveld was when the clamor of the outside world, hooves on frozen paths, axes splitting wood, voices calling across fields, the clang of iron on stone, fell silent, and the hearth fire inside the longhouse became the center of life. A glowing sun in a wooden sky, its warmth a promise of safety, its light a guide to peace. Families gathered close in these moments, pulling woolen cloaks tighter around their shoulders, the air thick with the scent of bubbling soup, smoked fish, roasted barley, burning pine, and the faint sweetness of honey stirred into warm milk. Voices softened, Laughter faded into murmurs, and the world outside seemed to pause, as if the forest itself was holding its breath, waiting for the night to deepen, its silence broken only by the occasional crack of ice or the soft patter of snow on the roof. There were no candles as we know them, only fat-fueled lamps carved from stone or clay, their wicks flickering with a warm golden glow that cast soft shadows on the walls, like spirits dancing in the dark. Shadows swayed on the wooden beams of the longhouse, twisting and curling with the fire's rhythm, painting stories in the dark, their shapes telling tales of gods and giants. Silence wove itself between the soft crackles of flame, a quiet that felt alive, inviting, like the gentle hum of a distant song carried on the wind. It was in these evenings that sleep came as naturally as breathing, as effortlessly as a river finding its course, as gently as snow settling on a pine bough. There was no need to resist it, no episodes to binge, no notifications pulling at the mind, no glowing screens stealing the dark, no rush to conquer the night. Only the body, aligning with the stars, the tides, the turning of the earth, drifting like snow into slumber, carried by the rhythm of the world. The longhouse itself was built to cradle this kind of sleep, designed not just for shelter but for rest, for dreams, for connection, a sanctuary where the boundaries between the waking world and the unseen softened, where the heart could rest as deeply as the body. Imagine it now. A wooden structure, long and narrow, its curved beams rising like the ribs of an overturned ship, sturdy against the wind that howls across the fjords, its walls weathered by storms yet unyielding. Walls packed with moss and earth hold in the warmth, sealing out the cold that presses against them, the frost tracing delicate patterns on their outer edges, like runes etched by the hand of winter. A central hearth runs down the spine of the hall, its fire crackling softly, smoke curling up through a narrow opening in the roof, mingling with the stars above, carrying the warmth of the home to the heavens, a bridge between earth and sky. Benches line the sides, carved from oak or pine, smoothed by years of use, their wood polished by the hands of those who sat and slept there, and atop them, thick beds of straw, layered with furs, deer hide for softness, bear pelt for strength, wolf skin for resilience, soft wool woven by hand, its fibers carrying the memory of the sheep that grazed under summer skies, the hands that spun the thread, the love woven into each stitch. The air smells of smoke, earth, the faint musk of animals, the sweet, green scent of dried herbs, and the crispness of frost lingering just beyond the walls, a blend that grounds you, ties you to the land, to the life that surrounds you. A family sleeps together here, not out of necessity alone, but for warmth, protection, and closeness. Their breaths mingling in the dark, their presence a comfort that words cannot capture. There's something deeply human about this, something we've lost in our modern world of solitary beds, locked doors, and silent rooms, where sleep is often a lonely act. For most of history, humans slept in groups, surrounded by the sounds of life, breathing, shifting, the occasional murmur of a dream, the soft cry of a child soothed by a mother's hum, the rustle of furs as someone turns in their sleep. In Viking times, the sound of your brother's steady breath, your mother's soft singing as she settles a child, the crack of wood in the fire as it burns low, the faint sigh of the wind outside. These were not disturbances. They were lullabies, woven into the fabric of the night. guiding you gently towards sleep. Like the rhythm of waves against a longship's hull, steady and eternal. And here, in this space, sleep arrived like a gentle god, not forced, not scheduled, but flowing like a stream through a forest, smooth and unhurried, its current carrying you effortlessly. The longhouse was a womb, a cradle, a place where the boundaries between waking and dreaming softened, where the world outside and the world within became one, where the soul could rest as deeply as the body. Feel that now. Your body growing heavy, your breath slowing, the warmth of the fire seeping into your bones, the scent of pine and wool wrapping you like a cloak, the soft weight of furs pressing gently against you. The night is kind here, and it calls you to rest, its voice as soft as snowfall, its embrace as warm as the hearth. In our modern world, we're taught to think of sleep as a single block, a solid 8 hours, uninterrupted, efficient, something to be optimized like a task on a checklist, measured by apps and alarms. But to the Norse, and to many pre-industrial cultures, sleep was softer, more fluid, more like the tides than a timer, more like the breath of the earth than a machine's pulse. They practiced what we now call polyphasic sleep, not one long rest, but 2 gentle phases, with a quiet interlude in between, a rhythm that followed the body's natural desires rather than a clock's demands. This was not a rigid rule, but a natural response to the body's needs, shaped by the seasons, the land, and the quiet wisdom of the night. It worked like this. The family would go to bed not long after sundown, especially in the long winters when darkness fell early, painting the world in shades of indigo and silver, the stars a map above the snow. They would sleep soundly for 4, perhaps 5 hours, wrapped in furs, the fire's glow fading to embers, the longhouse quiet save for the soft sounds of breathing, the occasional pop of wood, the faint creak of beams settling in the cold. And then, around midnight, they would awaken, not with a jolt, not with the harsh buzz of an alarm or the pull of a screen, but gradually, like a tide pulling back from the shore, rising into a calm, quiet awareness, their minds clear, their hearts still. This first sleep, or Fyrsta Svefen as they might have called it, was deep and grounding, a rest that restored the body's strength, like roots sinking into the earth, drawing nourishment from the dark. What followed was a sacred pause, a waking restfulness in the middle of the night, a time known as the Vaka, the waking. This wasn't a time for rushing or worry, but for stillness, for connection, for quiet acts that honored the night and its mysteries. Some used this hour to pray, their voices soft as they spoke to the gods or ancestors, asking for guidance, protection, or wisdom in dreams, their words rising like smoke to the unseen realms. Others whispered stories, their words weaving through the dark like threads in a tapestry, tales of heroes, spirits, or the land itself, each story a bridge to the past. Some mended clothes by the faint light of the fire, their hands moving slowly, deliberately, the rhythm of the needle calming the mind, like a chant without words, a meditation in motion. Others simply sat, stoking the fire, watching the flames dance, their glow casting shadows that seemed to tell their own tales, letting their thoughts drift like leaves on a stream, weightless and free. No bright lights pierced the dark, no racing thoughts broke the peace. Just the body and the night meeting one another in quiet harmony, their rhythm as natural as the tides. After an hour or so, sleep would return, the second sleep, or andra sveffen. This phase was often deeper, richer, full of dreams that felt vivid, almost alive, as if the soul had wandered through unseen realms and returned with gifts, with visions, with truths. Those who have tried this rhythm in modern times describe the second sleep as more restorative, almost spiritual, a journey into a deeper part of the self, a place where the mind could weave its own stories. The Vikings, deeply attuned to the cycles of nature, the turning of seasons, the waxing of moons, the rise and fall of tides, the slow dance of stars across the sky, embraced this rhythm without question, trusting the body to know its own needs, trusting the night to guide them. Picture yourself now, lying in the longhouse, the fire's warmth on your face, the soft weight of furs pressing gently against you, the scent of pine smoke lingering in the air, the sound of the wind outside a distant lullaby. Your breath slows, your thoughts soften, and the night calls you back to rest, its embrace as gentle as a mother's touch, its depth as vast as the northern sky. Before sleep, the Norse often turned to rituals, small acts that prepared the body and soul for the journey into dreams, each one a thread in the tapestry of their lives. They believed the boundary between waking and dreaming, between Midgard, the world of humans, and the spirit realms, was thinnest at night, a veil that parted as the fire dimmed, as the world grew still. To fall asleep was to sail into unknown waters, to cross a threshold into the unseen. So, as with any voyage, one must prepare with care, with intention, with respect for the journey, as if setting out on a longship into the mist. First the fire was banked, ashes gently pushed over glowing embers to keep the heat alive through the long night. The faint crackle a reminder of the hearth's steady presence, like a heartbeat in the dark, a guardian of the home. Then, bedding was arranged with intention. Soft moss gathered from the forest, its green scent still clinging to it, a reminder of the earth's embrace. Straw piled thick for comfort, rustling softly underfoot, its golden hue catching the firelight. Furs layered for warmth, deer hide for softness, bear pelt for courage, wolf skin for resilience, wool woven by hand, passed down through generations, carrying the love of those who spun it, the stories of those who wore it. Each pelt had meaning, a story, a connection to the land or the family who prepared it, a reminder of the lives intertwined with yours, a thread tying you to the past. Children were often anointed with herbs, a cloth dipped in water boiled with Baldrsbrá chamomile, its golden petals, releasing a scent that soothed the breath, calmed the heart and invited dreams of light and peace, like a meadow under the summer sun. Or crushed ling, heather, was tucked near the sleeping place, its earthy fragrance a whisper of the moors, inviting stillness, its purple blooms a memory of warmer days. Elders might carve runes before bed, their knives etching small, protective symbols into wood or stone, each stroke a meditation, a prayer carved into the world. Alges with its upward branches for safety, a shield against harm in the night. Berkano, the rune of the birch tree, sacred to women and beginnings, for nurturing and peace, for dreams that heal. Iwas the yew for strength and connection to the eternal, a reminder of life's continuity. These acts were done slowly, deliberately, grounding the carver in the moment, their hands steady as they shaped their prayers, their hearts open to the night. Some would murmur words in Old Norse, not a formal prayer but a whisper to the gods or ancestors. Soft as the wind outside, let my dreams be still. Guard the hearth and the breath of my kin. Let me return with the dawn. Others might hum a visa, a short verse passed down through families, its rhythm like a lullaby, tying the singer to the land, to the past, to the unseen, its melody weaving through the dark like a thread of starlight. These were not superstitions but anchors, tethering the sleeper to the world while inviting the night to take them, guiding them across the threshold of sleep. They were like our modern rituals, dimming lights, playing soft music, sipping tea but rooted in myth and meaning, in a deep connection to the unseen forces that shaped their world, to the spirits that lingered in the shadows. Feel that ritual now. Imagine your own hands smoothing a blanket, your fingers brushing against the soft wool, its texture grounding you, your breath slowing as you settle into softness. The air is cool, but the fire is warm, its glow painting your skin in hues of amber and gold, its warmth sinking into your bones. The night is ready to hold you, its arms open, its voice a whisper, its presence a promise of peace. Perhaps the most cherished Norse sleep tradition was storytelling, a practice that turned the longhouse into a bridge between worlds, a sacred space where the boundaries of time and reality softened. As the fire dimmed and the children curled close under furs, someone, often an elder, their voice worn smooth by years, deep as the roots of an ancient tree, rich with the weight of experience, would speak. Not loudly, not with the flair of a scold in a feasting hall, but softly, rhythmically, like the lapping of waves or the rustle of leaves, a voice to soothe a baby goat, calm a sleeping dog or lull a restless mind. The words wove through the dark, binding the listeners together, carrying them toward sleep, their cadence a gentle current pulling them toward dreams. These stories were not mere entertainment, they were bridges between the known and the unknown, the waking world and the hall of dreams, the day's work and the night's rest, the living and the ancestors who watched from beyond. You might hear of Thor, not in his thunderous battles, but fishing with a giant, his hammer lowered into the sea like bait, the waves laughing at his stubbornness, their foam sparkling under the stars, the story light and playful, easing the mind. Or of Freya, goddess of love, flying across snowfields in a cloak of falcon feathers, her eyes searching for her lost beloved in the mists of dreams, her heart a beacon in the dark, her journey a reminder of love's persistence. Or perhaps a quieter tale of an old farmer who outwitted a mountain spirit, not with strength but with patience, offering it tea brewed from herbs gathered under moonlight, the steam rising like a prayer, the story grounding the listener in the earth's wisdom. Some stories were sagas, stretching long into the night, tales of heroes and voyages that wove history and myth together, their threads binding the past to the present, the living to the dead. Others were brief, a single image to carry into sleep. Once, a raven flew to the moon and brought back the night for all to share. A wolf sang to the stars, and they sang back, their light weaving dreams. A child found a stone that whispered the secrets of the sea. And then, silence, heavy and soft like snow settling on a roof, like a blanket drawn over the world. The purpose wasn't to finish the tale, but to let the mind drift, to offer the listener a gentle launch into imagination, a path to dreams that felt safe and familiar, a journey guided by the voices of kin. To the Norse, Storytelling wasn't distraction, it was transformation. They understood, as modern sleep science now confirms, that what we hear before sleep shapes what we dream, how we rest, how we wake. So they told gentle tales, not to excite or startle, but to guide the mind toward peace, to invite visions of forests, seas, and starlit skies, to carry the listener into a world where dreams were as real as the waking day. Imagine now, lying by the fire, a story fading into silence, your thoughts softening like ripples on a lake carrying you towards sleep, your breath a soft echo of the wind outside, your heart beating in time with the earth. In Viking times, the forest was more than a place of hunting or timber. It was a pharmacy, a sacred grove, a source of healing and rest, a living partner in their lives. The Norse turned to the earth for remedies, using herbs to calm the body and prepare the mind for sleep. Their knowledge passed down through generations, whispered from mother to daughter, father to son, elder to child, each recipe a gift from the land. Some were sipped as teas, others burned to fill the air with soothing scents, some tucked beneath pillows or tied into satchels with leather cords, their fragrance lingering through the night like a guardian watching over dreams. Let us walk together, slowly through their forest of sleep, breathing in its gifts, our steps soft on the mossy earth, the air cool and green around us. Valerian root, known in Old Norse as something close to valerian, was a treasure of the forest, its roots dug from the damp soil near streams, their pungent scent like wet earth and musk, a reminder of the earth's depth. Dried and ground into powder, a spoonful stirred into hot water, sipped slowly by the fire, quieted the nerves, eased the tension of warriors after long days, and helped new mothers find rest between feedings. Its taste was earthy, its effect gentle, like a hand smoothing the edges of mind, guiding it toward stillness, like a stream finding its way to the sea. Even today, herbalists use it to coax sleep, a thread connecting us to those ancient nights, a reminder of the earth's enduring gifts, its quiet power. Chamomile, called Baldrsbrá or Balder's eyelashes for the gentle god of light, was a golden flower beloved by all, its petals glowing like tiny suns in the meadows, its scent soft and apple-like. Brewed into tea, it was given to children to calm their bellies and slow their racing pulses, its fragrance inviting sweet dreams of meadows and light, its warmth a comfort against the cold. Elders might sprinkle dried chamomile into the fire just before sleep, letting its fragrance drift through the longhouse, a whisper of peace in the air like a blessing from the gods, its golden scent weaving through the smoke. The act was simple, but sacred, tying the family to the earth's rhythms, to the cycles of growth and rest, to light that lingered even in the dark. Mugwort or madka was a herb of mystery, not for everyone. Its leaves sharp and green, its scent like a forest after rain, wild and alive. Known as the seer's herb, it was burned before sleep or tucked into dream pillows, its aroma believed to bring vivid dreams, even messages from beyond, its power a bridge to the unseen. Shield maidens might carry it before battle, not just for courage, but to seek visions in their sleep, glimpses of what lay ahead, their dreams a map of the future, a guide through the unknown. It was used with care, always accompanied by whispered words to the spirits, a ritual of respect for its power, a nod to the unseen worlds it opened, its scent a key to the realms of dream. Juniper needles and birch bark, when dried and burned gently, released sweet, sharp scents that purified the air, their smoke curling like a prayer through the longhouse, cleansing the space of restless thoughts. Families waved these smokes through the sleeping area, calming restless children, warding off bad spirits or troubled dreams, the act as much a ritual as a remedy, a way to honor the night. It was not unlike our modern lavender diffusers or sleep sprays, but their versions came from the trees they walked among, the forest that was both home and healer, its gifts as familiar as family. The smoke blended with the fire's glow, creating a space where sleep could settle, like a bird returning to its nest, its wings folding softly against the night. On cold winter nights, a warm drink of milk, sweetened with raw honey or a touch of mead, was sometimes taken before bed, its warmth spreading through the chest, a signal to the body. The day is done. It's time to rest. The sweetness lingered on the tongue. The warmth flowed through the limbs and the night felt softer, kinder, ready to embrace, like a mother's arms. In summer, they might sip a tea of rose hips, tart and bright, gathered from wild bushes by the fjords, their vitamin-rich brew a reminder of the sun's warmth even as the twilight lingered, their red berries a promise of life in the dark. In the Viking world, light ruled all. They lived not by clocks but by the sky, their days shaped by the sun's rise and fall, their nights by the moon and stars, their lives a dance with the cosmos. In summer, in the far north, the sun barely set, hovering at the horizon, casting a twilight glow that stretched through the night, painting the world in hues of blue and gold, the air alive with the hum of life. Sleep came later then, after feasts that spilled into the blue dusk, laughter and songs fading under the stars, the world bathed in a light that felt eternal. But when they slept, it was deep, born of exhaustion from fishing, building, harvesting in the long light, their bodies strong from the labor of the land, their minds clear from the simplicity of their tasks. They rose early, eager to gather more while the sun lingered, their hearts full of the day's promise. Winter, though, was different. Winter was sacred, a time when the sun offered only a few hours of golden glow before sinking back into darkness, the world cloaked in a quiet that felt eternal, its silence a song of rest. Rather than resist this shift, the Norse embraced it, letting the long nights guide their rest, their lives slowing like the sap in the trees, their bodies softening like the earth beneath snow. There are tales, even in old sagas, that speak of the long sleep, not true hibernation, but a slowed way of life, a time of minimal effort, of quiet reflection. In the coldest weeks of Yule, the Norse did as little as possible. They rested more, spoke softly, dreamed deeper, their lives mirroring the quiet of the earth, their bodies attuned to its pulse. This was not laziness but wisdom, a respect for the cycle of the world, a trust in its rhythms. Like bears curling in their dens, like seeds resting beneath the frost, they knew, winter is for recovery. Let the earth sleep, and we will sleep with it. The longhouse in these seasons became a true womb, a place of warmth and closeness, its walls a shield against the cold, its fire a heart that never stopped beating. 20, even 30 people might sleep in one hall, each wrapped in furs, their feet toward the fire, their bodies radiating warmth, their breaths a soft chorus in the dark, a symphony of life. There was no shame in this closeness. It was survival. It was bonding. It was life. A reminder that no one was alone, even in the dark. Imagine it now. The slow breathing of your kin all around you, the fire casting flickering shadows on the walls, the faint howl of wind outside, a snow fox padding silently along a ridge, its tracks vanishing in the snow, its eyes gleaming in the moonlight. Inside you sleep, cradled by time itself. The world holding you as you rest, the night a gentle guardian, its arms wrapped around you. But what of travel? The Norse were explorers, seafarers, their longships cutting through icy waves, their feet carrying them across mountains and plains, their hearts drawn to the horizon, their spirits as restless as the sea. Did they sleep well on their journeys? Surprisingly, yes. Their ships, especially the longships, were shallow, open boats, exposed to wind and spray, but sleep found a way, as it always does when the body is trusted, when the mind is at peace. At sea, the crew took turns resting beneath wool blankets, their bodies curled against the hull, the wood smooth from years of voyages, its grain telling stories of countless journeys. They lined the ship's sides with shields, not just for battle, but to block the biting wind, their colors gleaming faintly under the stars, their weight a comfort against the cold. At night, a few stayed awake to steer or watch the stars, navigating by the North Star's steady light, its glow a guide in the dark, while others slept by the mast or under a small awning of sailcloth, the ship rocking gently on the waves, its rhythm a lullaby, its creaks a song, the sound of water lapping the hull, the creak of ropes and timber, the rhythm of the sea. It lulled them like a cradle, a reminder of the earth's own heartbeat, its pulse as steady as the tides. Even in war camps, sleep came. They formed small circles around fires, laying cloaks on the ground, setting spears within reach for safety, their tips glinting in the firelight, their shafts a reminder of readiness. But they told stories still, their voices low, weaving tales of gods and heroes as the fire crackled, the stars above a silent witness, their light a promise of tomorrow. Where there was fire, there was sleep, and where there was sleep, there was peace even in the wild, even under the open sky. To the Norse, dreams were not random flickers of the mind. They were messages, gifts from the gods, the ancestors, or the hidden parts of the self. As real as the waking world, as vital as breath. They believed the soul could travel in sleep, across realms through mists, into the halls of Asgard, or the roots of Yggdrasil, the world tree that connected all things, its branches stretching into the heavens, its roots deep in the earth. In sagas and runic poems, dreams were omens. A raven flying north might foretell a journey, a snowstorm in sleep might warn of loss, a wolf smiling in the dark might be Odin himself, watching from the shadows, his one eye gleaming, his presence a mystery. Dreams were taken seriously, but not with fear, for they were part of life's weave, a thread in the tapestry of existence, a gift to be honored. Each morning, families might share their dreams aloud, not to dissect or judge, but to witness, to honor the night's gifts, to weave their stories into the fabric of the day. Last night, I walked along the ice and spoke to my grandmother, one might say, or I saw Freyr in a garden, holding wheat, smiling at the dawn, or a whale swam beside me, its song filling the sea with light. Simple words spoken softly, binding the family closer, their voices mingling with the crackle of the morning fire, the scent of fresh bread baking in the ashes. To dream well was to sleep well, and to sleep well was to live rightly, in harmony with the world, its rhythms, its mysteries, its quiet wisdom. The Viking world is gone, its longhouses reclaimed by the earth, their fires long extinguished, their voices faded into the wind, but its rhythms linger. If we listen, if we pause to hear them, here's what they did and what we, in our loud and sleepless age, can still do to find rest, to weave their wisdom into our lives, to reclaim the peace they knew. First, embrace darkness. The Norse didn't fear the night. They honored it, letting its quiet cue their sleep, letting its stillness guide them. Try dimming your home in the evenings, trading harsh lights for warm lamps or candlelight, letting your mind wind down as the world darkens, your eyes resting from the glare of screens, your heart softening in the quiet. Rest with the seasons. They slept more in winter, slowing their lives as the earth slowed hers, their bodies mirroring the land's rest. Our world pushes us to hustle, even in January's cold. But rest is not laziness, it is wisdom, a return to the earth's rhythm. Allow yourself to pause, to sleep longer when the nights are long, to follow the earth's rhythm like the bears do, their bodies curled in quiet dens, their breath slow and steady. In summer, let the light energize you, but honor the night when it comes, letting it guide you to rest. Its darkness a gift, not a burden. Tell stories at night. The Norse ended their days with myths, not headlines or worry. Their voices weaving tales that soothed the mind. Swap your evening scroll for a tale, a few pages of a book, a soft audiobook, a memory shared aloud with someone you love, a story whispered to yourself in the dark. Let your mind drift into story, not stress, and watch how your dreams soften, how your sleep deepens, how your heart finds peace. Share a quiet moment with a friend, a child, a partner, letting your voices weave a gentle bridge to rest, a thread connecting you to the past. Use the earth. They brewed herbs, slept on straw and moss, burned pine and birch to purify the air, their remedies drawn from the land they loved. Try chamomile tea, a drop of lavender oil, a sprig of rosemary by your bed, small gifts from the earth that carry you back to stillness, to dreams, to the forest's embrace. Plant a small herb garden, even in a pot by your window, and let its scent remind you of the forest, of the world that still breathes with you, its gifts as alive today as they were then. Sleep together if you can. They cherished the closeness of shared rest, the comfort of breathing in sync with others, the warmth of life surrounding them. Modern life may separate us with walls and headphones, but the body remembers the peace of connection, the comfort of presence. Even a pet's warmth, a partner's steady breath, a child's soft sigh can calm the nervous system, echoing the longhouses of old, where no one slept alone, where the night was shared, where sleep was a communal act. Create rituals. The Norse prepared for sleep with care, with intention, their hands smoothing furs, their voices whispering to the night, their hearts open to its mysteries. Find your own rituals. Light a candle, write a single grateful thought, breathe deeply 3 times before closing your eyes, sip a warm drink, or trace a simple pattern with your fingers, a modern rune of peace. These small acts anchor you, tether you to the moment, and invite the night to hold you, to guide you into dreams. Honor your dreams. The Norse saw dreams as messages, as journeys, as gifts from the unseen. Keep a notebook by your bed, not to analyze but to witness, to jot down a single image or feeling from your dreams. A tree, a wave, a voice. Let them be part of your story, a thread in the tapestry of your life, a reminder that sleep is more than rest. It is a journey, a connection to something larger. And now let the words fall away, like leaves drifting to the forest floor, like snow settling on a quiet ridge, like mist rising from a fjord at dawn. Let your mind return to that Viking village where the world is cloaked in winter's embrace, where snow falls softly outside, blanketing the earth in silence, each flake a whisper of peace. The fire burns low in the longhouse, its embers glowing like stars trapped in wood, casting a warm light across the beams, painting the walls with shadows that dance like spirits. You are inside now, wrapped in furs, the air warm with the scent of smoke, pine and wool, the faint musk of the earth grounding you, the sweet scent of chamomile lingering in the air around you, the gentle breathing of kin, the soft rise and fall of life, a reminder that you are not alone, that you are part of something greater. Time itself has slowed, its edges softened by the night, its weight lifted from your shoulders, its demands silenced by the dark. Listen to the wind outside, its whisper weaving through the trees, carrying the stories of the forest, the songs of wolves, the secrets of the stars, the dreams of those who came before. Hear the wood creaking softly in the longhouse, settling into the cold, and the faint heartbeat of the earth beneath you, steady and eternal, its pulse a lullaby. Breathe slowly now, in and out, in and out. Each breath a wave, each exhale a release, each inhale a gift. Nothing needs to be done, no storm to weather, no battle to fight. This is the hour of kveld, of softness, of sleep, where the world holds its breath for you, where the night opens its arms to cradle you. Let your limbs grow heavy, sinking into the furs, into the earth, your body as rooted as an ancient tree, its roots deep in the soil of time. Let your thoughts drift like mist over a fjord, weightless, unhurried, carried by the night's gentle current, guided by the stars above. You are part of something older than time, a story written in starlight, told by the fire, whispered in your breath, woven into the fabric of the world. The night is holding you now, its arms gentle, its voice a lullaby, its embrace as vast as the northern sky, as deep as the sea, as eternal as the earth. Sleep, traveler, you are home.